So let's begin lying down. I want you to start by connecting to the length and strength of your body. So just lying flat on your back with your legs extended, go ahead and take a big stretch with your arms overhead. You'll notice that your lower back curves a little bit when you take a big morning stretch. And now I want you to place your arms on the ground, keeping them overhead, and I want you to actually start to lengthen your body out a little bit more. So draw your abdominals down towards the floor like you're trying to erase that space between your lower back and the ground. At the same time, let your chest really broaden. So you're reaching out through fingertips, but keeping shoulders down away from ears. And then go ahead and flex your feet really well and press through your heels forward. Feel as if you're trying to zip your legs up together, even though they might not be touching. That's okay. So your hips are pulling sort of up towards your bottom ribs, and your ribs are reaching towards your hips. That's how we're going to engage our core, pulling your belly button towards the spine. From here, we're going to start with a half roll up, just connecting to that upper section of abdominals. So start by taking a breath in and just reaching your fingertips up towards the sky. As you exhale, lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Reach your fingertips forward just so your arms are parallel to the ground. As you inhale, you're going to put the spine back down on the floor, one vertebra at a time. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, peeling up from the floor, reaching through fingertips and keeping that core engaged. So ribs and hip bones pulling towards one another, heels pressing forward. Inhale, release. Exhale one more time and lift. This time we're going to draw your right knee in towards your chest as you go into that roll up. So using your lower abdominals to lift the leg. As you inhale, extend the leg again, arms overhead. As you exhale, other leg pulls in from the strength of the lower belly. Keep your shoulders nice and broad. One more time, inhale. Exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, lift and draw the knee in. Keep pushing through the opposite heel. Just kidding, we're gonna do one more set. Long breath in. Exhale, lift, right knee to chest. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, left knee in towards your chest, fingertips reaching forward, shoulders back. And release, come back, lie down on your back, bring both knees in towards your chest. Rock your legs a little bit side to side. Go ahead and relax your abdominals for a moment. Let's just go into a spinal twist. Drop your legs over to the right. Spread your fingertips out nice and wide so your chest opens. Make sure your knees are up high, sort of in line with your chest, rather than down low towards the bottom of your mat. Take a deep breath into your upper chest here. Exhale all the way out. Draw your body back through the center. Go over to the left. Arms are reaching out to help you open your chest, keeping the chest open as you relax your legs to the ground. Nice deep breath in to the upper chest. Exhale all the way out, letting it go. Good. Bring your knees back towards the center. Give them another squeeze in towards your chest. You'll feel your lower back round. And let's roll onto your side and come up onto hands and knees. In hands and knees, table position, we want to have our hands directly underneath your shoulders, shoulders drawn back away from your ears. Knees are right underneath your hips, so you're stacked really well like a table. You want to lift up your abdominals without rounding your lower back. You also want to keep your chest slightly open, shoulders rolling back as if your heart is reaching forward, head is slightly lifted, eyes are a couple feet in front of your fingertips. From here, take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, round into cat pose, tucking your tail underneath you, lifting your abdominals strongly and rounding from head to tail. So you're gazing at your navel. As you inhale, start to lift from your tail just slightly, keeping your abdominals engaged. Roll your shoulders back and let your heart reach through the frame of your arms. Head is lifted. As you exhale, press your hands into the ground, tuck your tail, look at your belly button. As you inhale, again, lifting that tail up towards the sky, rolling shoulders back, heart and hips moving in opposite directions. As you exhale, once again, rounding out like the cat. This time, draw your knees all the way together. As you inhale, lift head and tail, roll shoulders back. As you exhale, draw your right knee in towards your nose. As again, you look towards your belly button. Try not to lean left. Keep even weight through both hips. As you inhale, push that right leg really, really slowly back behind you, just in line with the hip, and extend your left arm forward. Pause and find a balance. As you exhale, draw your right knee again in towards your nose and just bend your left elbow, bringing it by your side, not across the body, just by your left side. As you inhale, push slowly through space to find that balance. Leg back, arm forward, shoulders broad. As you exhale, slowly draw the knee in towards your nose, elbow by the hip. Do that one more time. Inhale really long, find your length, find your lift, go really slow. This is simple but super effective. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your nose, and with your left hand, grab onto your right shin, maybe even the ankle if you can reach, and pull that leg up higher towards your body, like you want to get your thigh to touch your chest. Pause, push your right hand into the ground, really lift the back body up towards the sky, and then release. Place your left hand on the floor and your right knee. Let's take a child's pose just for a moment, separating the knees wider than hips, moving your hips back and down towards the heels, resting your forehead and elbows on the ground. Take a nice deep breath, letting it go all the way out. And we'll come back up into table position, again with the knees all the way together. Hands placed well right underneath your shoulders. Take a breath in as you lift your tail, draw your shoulders back. Abs are still pulling in. As you exhale, round from head to tail, draw your left knee in towards your nose. Inhale, push that leg back behind you through space, lifting from the inner thigh up towards the ceiling, and extend your right arm. Push it forward through space. Exhale, knee to nose, right elbow by your hip. Inhale, push nice and long. Exhale, draw everything in. Lift up from your rib cage, your abdominals. One more time. Push, extend, get really, really long. Keep pulling that right shoulder back into your upper back. Exhale, knee to nose and grabbing onto the ankle or shin. Holding in nice and tight. Push your left hand into the floor. Lift up your ribs. Draw your tail underneath you. And release. Let's go into child's pose again. Take a rest. Bring your heart rate back down with slow exhalations that are really long, and then a medium-sized inhalation. Slow, long, full exhale. Medium-sized inhale. We're going to transition now into rolling child's pose. It's more of a dynamic cat-cow movement. So take your knees hips distance now and extend your arms forward. Hands or shoulders width apart, fingers spread really well, grounding your knuckles into the floor. As you take a deep breath in, you're going to draw up into a nice hollowed out cat position. You'll be a little bit longer than normal. And as you exhale, start to shift your body forward, letting your hips first come to the ground and then rolling up through the spine until you press your chest forward, come all the way down onto your tummy. As you inhale, lift up into a little baby cobra, initiating from the lift in the heart. And then as you exhale, drop your head, push your hands into the ground and roll through the spine, rounding through the cat all the way back to child's pose. Let's do that again. As you inhale, drawing up nice and hollow, shifting the hips forward, placing them down first on the ground, and then rolling the rest of the body forward and down. As you inhale, head lifts, chest open, baby cobra. As you exhale, push hands hollow out and go back to child's pose. One more. Drawing in, really lifting your abdominals to round head to tail in cat pose. Shifting forward, keeping your abs tight as hips, then belly, then chest come to the floor. Inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale, push hands. Pull that waistline back, go back to child's pose. Let's come into downward facing dog now. Reaching those hips up and back behind you. Knees can be slightly bent, no problem. You want to get as much length along your waistline as you can. So feel as if you're reaching your heart towards your thumbs as your pelvis moves back in space. Keeping your abdominals nice and tight. Let's inhale the right leg up and back behind you. Nice square hips. As you exhale, draw your knee in towards your nose. Round your spine. Lift your rib cage. Inhale, shift hips back. Lift that leg. Down dog split. As you exhale, we're going to tap right knee to right elbow, maybe even an inch above. Keep lifting your rib cage and belly. Inhale, down dog split, square hips. As you exhale, we're going to cross over and tap the left elbow. Try not to sink the hips here. Keep the hands pressing, thigh lifting. Good, inhale, up and back again. This time we're going to open the hips, stacking right on top of left. Lift that right foot high into the sky and then bend your knee. Let that top ankle relax as the left heel sinks back and down, trying to avoid any turnout on that left foot. It should look just like down dog. Pause here for a moment. Breathe deep into your belly. Keep your chest square to the earth, head relaxed. Go ahead and lengthen that right leg back out. Bring it down to the floor. Come forward into a plank pose, nice and long. Let's lower down really slow. 3, 2, 1. Onto the tummy. Reach those arms back behind you. I want you to press your pubic bone into the ground. Pull up through your waistline. Reach long through your legs as if you're zippering them together. And we're going to lift the chest up off the floor, coming into a locust. Nice low locust pose. Reach through the crown of your head. Reach your heart forward, hips back. Again, maintaining that length and using your abdominals to help support the entire length of the pose. Relax, come back down, rest on your forehead, let your shoulders relax for a moment. Then bring your hands underneath your shoulders, push back into child's pose. Coming back into downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. Left leg reaches up and back, down dog splits. Exhale, draw knee in towards the nose, lifting that left thigh high towards the chest, rounding from head to tail. Inhale, up and back, nice square hips. Exhale, tap the left elbow, maybe even above towards the armpit. Inhale one more time, up and back. Find that peak lift of the leg. Exhale, crossing over the body, tapping the right elbow, maybe even an inch or two higher. Try not to sink the hips down. Inhale, up and back. This time we get a little break. Opening the hip stack, left on top of right. Press your right heel down towards the floor. Doesn't matter if it touches. Lifting that left foot high into the sky. Actually feel as if you're lifting from the thigh bone, and then bend your knee. Pull the front ribs into the back side of the body so you're not overarching the lower back. Pause here, breathe, ground through your knuckles, relax your head. Lengthen that leg back out nice and straight. Bring it to the floor. Shifting forward, plank position. Lowering down slow for 3, 2, 1. Good. Press those hips and pubic bone into the floor. Reach the arms back behind you. Keep your feet grounded, legs zippered towards one another. They don't have to touch, but they're slightly magnetized. Chest lifts, abdominal pulls up. Try not to crank your head back. Find your peak lift here. Spread through the fingers. And release. Take a little rest. Then hands under shoulders. Push back nice and slow into child's pose. Take a nice deep breath. Great. From here, let's move into our standing pose sequence. Starting from downward facing dog. As you inhale, send the right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your nose and place your foot between your hands best you can. Back foot turns flat about 45 degrees from the front. We're going to rise up really slow into warrior one. Find your length up through the chest as you descend into the hips a little bit, making sure that front shin bone is stacked straight up and down. Let's wrap the left arm underneath the right for Garudasana arms. And as you take a nice deep breath in, hinging from your upper back and lifting your elbows slightly, coming into back bend. As you exhale, you're going to coil in towards yourself, okay? So bring your elbows in towards your belly button and hinge forward. We're going to roll up really slow as if you're stacking one bone at a time. At your peak, we again lift the elbows, take a slight back bend. Exhale, coil in, sort of like cat pose. Legs are really steady. Really use your core strength to pull the waistline back and squeeze the legs in. One more roll up. Here we go. Up, finding your peak. And from here, we're going to open warrior two. Spread those arms apart. Find lots of space here. As you inhale, draw the arms up towards the sky. Gaze towards your fingers. As you exhale, sweep the hands down through the midline and push out to the sides. Inhale, arms rise up. Feel as if you're squeezing your legs together, lifting up from pelvic floor. Exhale, hands to heart and push hands out. One more time. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale to heart center and push. As you breathe in, come into Parshva, warrior two, reverse warrior. Exhale into plank position, pause. Place your right elbow down. Place your left elbow down. Start by finding a nice long forearm plank. So again, your heart is reaching forward, hips reach back, waistline is pulled up. You might need to tuck your tail just slightly. Feel as if you're pressing your heels back in opposition again to your heart. Try not to let your hips sink down. It won't feel very good. From here, we're going to really slowly bend the knees halfway towards the floor. Try not to let your head sink or your hips. Go ahead, slowly extend them again. It's a tiny, tiny movement. Go ahead, tiny knee bend. Keeping that waistline really tight, lower abs pulling in, and extend. One more time, little knee bend. Relax your jaw, breathe. Go ahead, extend the legs again. Good. Place your left hand on the ground. Place your right hand on the ground. Back up to plank pose. Lower down slow for 3, 2, 1, and take a little rest. Coming into locust again, legs long. Reach the arms back behind you. We're just going to reach fingers towards the heels. Heart reaches forward, lifting that chest, rolling the shoulders back, feeling that squeeze in the upper back. And slowly come down. Bring your hands by your chest. Push back, child's pose. Take a nice full deep breath. Exhale it all the way out. Let's do the other side. From downward facing dog. Left leg reaches up and back, down dog split. Exhale, knee to nose, and place that foot between your hands. Back foot flat at about a 45, rising up, warrior one. Wrapping this time, the right arm underneath the left for Garudasana arms, eagle arms. As you inhale, hinging from the upper back, lifting the elbows up, maybe extending the head slightly. As you exhale, coil in, pull your elbows towards your navel, round your spine, hinge forward. Roll up really slow. Here's the work. This is where the work is. Roll up slow, one bone at a time. Elbows lift, find your peak. Exhale, coil in, sinking into the hips. Front shin bone straight up and down. One more time, rolling up, finding that peak. And open up your stance, open the arms, warrior two. Settle for a moment. Pressing that left shin bone forward, grounding through your right foot. Going to do our arm circles in the opposite direction. So dropping the arms down through the midline. Feel as if you're pulling something up from the floor, up through the midline, through the heart, into the sky. Exhale, push out and down. Inhale, pull up, squeeze through the legs, lift from pelvic floor. Fingertips rise to the sky. Exhale, circle out and down one more time. Inhale, rise. Exhale, push. Keep that heart lifting. Good. Warrior two into Parshva. Warrior two, reverse. And cartwheeling those arms into plank position. We're going to do the same thing, but from plank pose. So first, find a nice long plank. Legs long, waistline pulled in. Heart reaching forward, shoulders back, gaze is a little bit forward. I want you to bend your right knee just a tiny bit. And then bend your left knee a tiny bit. Bend your right. Then your left. Right. Left, keeping the rest of the body super steady. One more, right. Left. Both legs long, lower down slow for 3, 2, 1. Good. Relax for a moment. Finding your locust as you're ready. Here we go. Chest lifting, hips and pubic bone press into the ground, waistline tight. This time we're going to lift the legs. Fingers reach back towards your heels as your heart presses forward. And come down, take a rest. When you're ready, hands come underneath your shoulders, push back slow, take a child's pose, and take a nice long deep breath. Inhale, exhale all the way out. Great, so from here, let's nice and easy just flip over onto your back. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Give them a good squeeze just for a moment. And then we're going to send the legs straight up towards the sky and take the hands behind the head. Interlace your fingers together. You want your elbows nice and wide apart and feel your head gently pressing back into your hands. Now, if you can't straighten your legs easily while you keep your hips and lower back connected to the ground, then just bend your knees slightly and send your feet forward. As long as you still have energy down the length of the legs, it doesn't matter if they're straight. We're going to do some little lifts here. So I want you to take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, let's start with head and shoulders just peeling off the floor. You're going to use your upper abdominals to lift your head. Keep your elbows wide and your head actually pressed back into your hands. At the same time, we're going to squeeze the legs together, and with the lower abdominals, try to lift the legs straight up towards the sky, taking your sacrum off the ground. You're going to inhale to lower and come back home. Exhale, head and shoulders lift, squeezing legs together, lower belly pulls down, legs go straight up. Inhale, come back down, take your little rest. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Try not to bring your thighs towards your face. Keep your knees right over your hips. Inhale down. Exhale, squeeze and lift. One more, inhale down. Exhale, squeeze and lift. This time we're going to hold. We're going to send your right leg out to your point of control, maybe all the way down towards the floor. As we take a tiny twist, bring your right shoulder towards your left knee. Inhale back down to center and rest. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Send your left leg forward, left shoulder towards right knee. Don't worry about how far. We're just contracting the sides of the waist here. Inhale back down. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Right leg reaches. Little twist. Inhale down. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Left leg reaches. Little twist. Inhale back down. One more time each side. Exhale, squeeze, lift, twist. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Lengthen that left leg. Little twist. And inhale back down. Feet to the floor. Knees together, feet apart. Relax the arms. Take a nice deep belly breath. Let it go all the way out. We're going to do a bridge pose to help stretch out those abdominals that have just worked so hard. So placing your heels under your knees, about hips distance. Arms reach nice and long. Draw your shoulder blades underneath you. Go ahead and lift your hips by pressing your feet into the ground and gently squeezing the shoulder blades into your upper back. Draw your tail slightly underneath you as if it's reaching towards the backs of your knees. And once you find your peak, then you can place your feet so that you feel your heels really right underneath your knees. Take a deep belly breath here. Remember, don't worry about how high you're lifting. This is actually a pose to help open up the front of the chest. Your breath is what's going to stretch out your waistline and soothe those abdominal muscles. Let's come down nice and slow by bringing your hips down first, then your shoulders, then your full back. Draw your knees in towards your chest, give them a nice big squeeze, and then rock your legs all the way over to the right, coming into a spinal twist. Arms stretch out in line with the shoulders. Legs relax on the floor, feet relax on the floor. Draw back through the center, switch to the other side. Take a breath. There should be space in your upper chest for your breath to travel. Draw the knees back towards the center. Let's curl into a nice tight little ball. Drawing the nose towards the knees, feeling that lower back round. And then lying down into corpse pose, Shavasana. Legs extended, nice space between your feet, space between your hands, shoulders really gently tucked underneath you, and head resting on the floor. Close your eyes. And slowly over time, all of your muscles, all your bones will start to relax, become heavy. Let your breath just be natural. Give yourself a nice rest so that your body can integrate everything that it just did.